Hey, Desiree here with Soul Path Astrology and this week's Oracle card readings. Welcome to card 3 and this week's special reading. So, we have so much energy potent right now in the sky regarding the partial lunar eclipse, that it's a full moon. And we are just on the tail end of leaving the nodal axis that we've been on. So, for the last year, 18 months, we've been on this Aries Libra axis. So, this is the me is Libra, me is Aries, we Libra axis. Relationships have probably been coming up for you a lot over the last year. I'm going to expect quite deeply, in fact. And so, what this is about is where we're moving out of that and we're moving into the Pisces Virgo axis, which is very much about fantasy and reality. So this little tail end as we slip, as the moon is sliding, and what's happening is our nodes are shifting. So we're shifting out of the Aries Libra axis into the Pisces Taurus axis, or Pisces Virgo axis. And this is where they rub right now. This is where it's like this final push to get real. This is like a come to Jesus talk about your relationships. This is very much an energy about revealing where we've been maybe hiding from ourselves, where we've been sort of talking some shit to ourselves because we don't want to believe the evidence, the reality that's coming into our awareness. And so we kind of do this na 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 thing, hoping that our fantasy will somehow force the reality to align with the fantasy. And so this reading, and good for you for having the courage to do this, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see where we've been bullshitting ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to own that we've been living in a delusion. But the cure for delusion is to step into reality, right? And the only way to do this is to have some softness around it and some willingness to be wrong. And I hate being wrong and I hate being called out on my shit. So what I've learned is some humor goes a long way. Having a lightness, a walking lightly with myself and taking myself a little bit less seriously helps with receiving feedback that is beneficial. Because if I refuse to receive feedback, as anybody is, if you refuse to receive good feedback, then you are always going to be stuck. It's like the longest, hardest way to come out. A metaphor I use all the time is, people will come to me, friends or, clients or whatever, even myself, I'll become aware of the fact that it's like you're laying in a puddle face down, and the puddle's like this deep. It's like 2 or 3 inches deep. And I'm drowning. I can't deal. And it's like, just turn your head. Like, just turn your head and you can breathe. It'll be fine, right? But this, no, you don't understand. It's like, it's so overwhelming. And it's just so like, oh my God. But it's like, literally just turn your fucking head. That's what these readings are about, because that's the way that I do stuff. I'm kind of that tough love girl, right? But always doled out with some humor and some wry self-reflection, because I've been there. I'm still there in a lot of ways. We're all just humans, right? But let's raise each other up. Let's call each other out on our shit so that we can grow, right? This isn't about diminishing. This is about growing. So with that, keep that in mind, right? This is your card. Incidentally, all the cards this week are upright. So this is good. It's like, you're getting a little like come to Jesus talk, but it's in a positive way. So this is more like, this is what's ready to come online. Rather than viewing it as a block to overcome, see these as like an opportunity. There's something that's ready, that's ripe, that's ready for you to step into. It wants to illuminate and come online in your operating system. This is your card. Without further ado, I've been dragging it long enough. The Nine of Cups. This is such a great card. This is coming to fruition. This is wishes granted. This is like an abundance of good stuff. Right. So, in the context of this reading, there is all this good stuff that's ready and wanting you to have it, but it's asking you to get real about how to get there. So this is like, where might you be like, do you remember in '07 when The Secret came out and they basically said, if you just visualize it enough, it'll magically manifest on your front door, right? So this card's asking, where are you doing that? Like, where are you really fixated on the fantasy of what you want without doing the actual hard work to make it happen? right? It wants, like, there is this abundance waiting for you. There is this big, juicy, beautiful life, whatever that looks like for you, waiting for you, but it's waiting for you to get your shit together and start making it happen. And since this is all happening in the land of relationships, my question for you is there maybe some relationship or relationships that you're spending a lot of your time and attention on instead of doing what you need to do to bring this abundance into your life? Like sometimes we can have an ease around because all of this is moving the north node and the south node. The whole point of it is the north node is uncomfortable, but it's where your soul wants you to go, but it's the uncomfortable, crunchy, ooh, not what you're used to. South node is easy peasy, right? This is the stuff you're just naturally really good at. So, for example, if you're naturally really good at relationships and talking with your friends and talking them through their issues and being a caretaker and being really nurturing and being really like focused on everyone else and their issues and what they're needing and advice that you can give them, and you're not so much doing what you need to do for yourself, this is the wake up call here with this card is like, you have some things to do to make this abundance show up in your life. You have these wishes granted are granted by virtue of working in collaboration with the universe, by working in collaboration with outside unseen forces. Like it's not all on you, right? Allow that fantasy of this or something better to be a thing, but do the thing, right? And align yourself with others that have a high level of resonance with abundance, who, you know, are going to lift you up. So the focus isn't on wham, poor is me, this sucks, and life is so hard, and here's all the things that are in my way. You know, oh, no, no. Like instead of seeing the things in your way as problems to surmount, my invitation, and with this card, it's like, how can you see even that as part of your abundance? What if the challenges aren't something to overcome, but they're the thing in overcoming that propels you to the, like, it is the gift. Like the working of it, the you that emerges as the working through these issues of facing these challenges and seeing them as opportunities to ripen you, to deepen you, to add nuance and strength to you rather than some horrible thing happening to you. Like the shift to seeing that is what will create the abundance. So surround yourself with people and ways of feeling fruitful and abundant, and that will elevate you to that, you know, where they hold you in a resonance of fullness of this nine of cups. There's so much. Like if you look at the visual, like he's even kind of a little bit smug, like, woo, look at all my stuff, right? So where might there too be some resistance around having an abundance, right? And abundance can be time, it can be energy, it can be money, it can be friends, it can be have opportunities. I mean, abundance shows in many ways, but the wake up call is, where are you fantasizing and just letting it be a fantasy and not doing the work? Or where might you be getting in downplaying what you really want? Where might you be lowering your bar and saying that you'll accept lower than what you actually want because some part of you doesn't think that you can do it or that you deserve it or that it's possible? Right? So maybe the reality check here is, where are you trying to play small to feel safe? And where might you be making excuses for your lack of well-being, your lack of deep support, deep security, deep sense of having a lot, you know, having more than you need so that you can give some away. Like this isn't about hoarding, right? The invitation here is having so much, not only are your own needs met, you have an abundance of it to give to others or to seed, even better yet, seed other people's growth, right? Because this isn't so much about handouts as much as it is about hand ups. So if you have enough that you have your own needs met, and then you have a surplus that you can use to help others, give them, like you can see they're right on the cusp of exploding with awesomeness, but they just need that little bit of support, that little bit of a hand up. If you have extra, then you can do that philanthropy, that way of being generous in spirit in a way that you can only do if you have more than you need, right? But it is about putting it back out there. It's not about hoarding it. It's about recirculating it. So where can you invite in circulation where it's appropriate, and where do you need to plug some holes? Right? So that might have something to do with this card too. If you want to deep dive, if you want to get really into the meat of this to you personally, let's do a one-on-one reading. I still have a few slots left. We can do them over Zoom or we can do them in person if you are in the Edmonton area. Either one works. The link to that is in the description of the card below. And in the meantime, I hope that you have a fantastic week. I love to hear if these things land or not and in what way. It's great to see that connection and correlation with each other as we are all in this together and we're all meant to rise. So let us rise together. Okay. Love ya. Talk to you soon. Bye.